Wyan was a young pillar, as she was only 15. She was new into the group. But since she had proved to them that she's strong enough to kill an upper moon, they didn't judge her by her young age. After all, Muichiro was even younger. Moreover, she was an ice pillar, which was the element they lacked in the group. And throughout time, they befriended her, as the young girl was actually very friendly and respectful to everyone. Since she was young and new, Mitsuri got a liking to her and Shinobu adored her as well. But Muichiro had different feelings. He got a liking to her too, but in another sense of liking. Maybe it was her looks, maybe it was her strength, maybe it was the sound of her voice, maybe it was the way she dressed. That was in the book that she had read, and she had read this passage to him especially when he had asked her what she was reading. He remembered those 2 sentences only because it was exactly what he felt about her. He couldn't tell what was going on in his stomach whenever she was around him, and couldn't tell why he liked her that much either. It was the only time he had ever talked to her. Nowadays, the pillars were training Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. Wyan felt quite hostile that Ajin was hanging out with them, but she believed if her master had allowed it, she was no one to tell otherwise. Currently, she was braiding Inosuke's hair. He had the longest hair out of the boys, and he allowed her to touch him as she was a pillar and his superior. "It's quite short, you won't have fun for long," he said, as she was almost done braiding his hair already. "I know, I just like braiding hair, but Nezuko's sleeping," she said, a smile on her face. Muichiro was a few meters away, training Tanjiro, however his main focus was on the girl. Running her hands through the wild boy's hair. Muichiro had longer hair, she could braid his instead. "What's wrong, Muichiro?" the ice pillar asked, noticing him staring at her. She allowed herself to call him by his first name as he was younger than her, and because he was calling her by her first name as well. "Nothing," he said, turning his attention back to Tanjiro. However, he was obviously pouting, biting his lower lip in the process. "Nezuko-chan!" Wyan heard Zenitsu say. That's how she noticed that the demon had woken up, looking at her friends from underneath the porch to remain in the shadows. She stood up. "Nezuko, do you want a braid?" she asked, excitedly, showing the little one she did on Inosuke. As the demon nodded, the boy shook his head, so he undid the braid itself. But Wyan didn't care, as she was already hopping to Nezuko, as she can try as many hairstyles as she wanted on her hair. "Are you jealous, Tokito?" Tanjiro asked the pillar, who was once again staring at the girl. "What would I be?" "What are you talking about?" he asked calmly. "You keep looking at her. Or maybe that you just want your hair braided." Tanjiro smiled at the thought. "No, keep going with your katana," was all Muichiro said, brushing it off. It was without considering Mitsuri, who just came back from a mission. She had talked to Wyan a bit as she was braiding Nezuko's hair, and felt Muichiro's glances at her. That's why she walked towards him. "I'm sure you're not staring because you're happy I'm back. Am I wrong?" The boy simply frowned. "What do you—" She cuts him off. "You're staring at Wyan. She's very friendly, you know. She won't reject you if you go talk to her," the left pillar said, smiling. "See? I told you was staring," Tanjiro told the boy, who just sighed. "I know she's quite friendly. I'm living here as well. And no, I wasn't staring." That's all he said. He threw a rock at Tanjiro's face, who whined at the action. "I'm taking a break. I've been training you for the whole morning," he said. "You're taking a break?" Tanjiro muttered. As soon as she saw the pillar sit, Wyan called out to him, "Muichiro, can I braid your hair too?" The boy tried to look unbothered and raised his shoulders when he talked to her. "If you want to," he said, sitting in front of her so she can style his hair. "Why are you so grumpy?" she asked. "I'm not grumpy. I'm normal," he replied. "I can tell when you're grumpy. That's why I called you over here." That said, she started to divide the locks of his hair. "Why do you like to style people's hair?" the main address asked, changing the subject of discussion. "It's relaxing, both for me and the other person, and we can talk." The boy nodded his statement. "I've been doing Rengoku's hair because he tells me stories about his previous missions he had in his training. Has he ever told them to you?" Muichiro rolled his eyes at the mention of the flame pillar's name. "Yeah, he likes to show off. It's not like he didn't like him, it's just that he was the pillar Wyan spent most of her time with. And even if he was sure it was just because of admiration, Muichiro couldn't help but feel jealous." "Aw, don't say that. He's nice with all of us," the girl commented. "And I'm sure people would love to hear your stories as well," she added. Muichiro widened his eyes. "You would like it if I told you about my life before becoming a pillar?" The girl nodded happily. "I know about Obanai more than I know about you, and I'm not sure about Sanemi, but apparently no one does," he said. After taking a lock of the boy's hair, Wyan touched his cheek with her fingers. However, he didn't shiver. "Your hands are warm," he muttered. He didn't plan for her to hear it, but she did. "What did you expect?" she giggled, making him blush. He was lucky she wasn't facing him to see it. "I don't know, you're the ice pillar," he said, trying to sound unbothered, but getting caught about talking to her hands was embarrassing to him. Well, Rengoku is the flame pillar. That doesn't mean that his hands are always burning, she said, almost done with half the braid. He is your favorite pillar, right? Muichiro asked. I don't have a favorite pillar. I knew about him before becoming one, but now that I'm living with all of you, it's inappropriate to say I have a favorite one. The boy rolled his eyes at the sentence. Why did she have to be like that? But if I had to choose, I would say you. I mean, it's not because of power or something, but you're the closest to my age and you're quite calming. It's relaxing and you're strong, so I feel safe around you. The fact that you're relaxing and protective at the same time is better, I guess. Don't tell the other pillars. I like all of them. They're just scary sometimes. It's mostly because of our age. Well, he didn't plan that at all. I won't tell, he said, unsure how to react. I'm not scary? The blonde boy said I was, he said, referring to Zenitsu. Isn't he scared of everything, though? She commented, brushing her hands against his cheek again, taking some of his hair. Muichiro chuckled. It wasn't loud, it was almost quiet, but it brought a smile to his face. I think he is, he replied to the girl. And to answer your question, no, you're not scary. You're a bit intimidating since you're grumpy, though, she said, giggling, thinking he could have opened up to her a bit. Even more that she was the person he liked. Muichiro decided to converse with her. I didn't mean to. I'm just a little boy. I don't see how I can do that, Ryan snorted. Yeah, I know, but I think that's why people respect you despite your age. You're that young and already a pillar. And you managed to look intimidating, she said, sounding like she was proud of him or admiring him. You're only 1 year older. People should be intimidated by you as well, he said. Sonami said I was too friendly, and I was smiling too much to be intimidating, but Kocho smiles a lot, and I'm fucking scared of her. Muichiro giggled at fucking. She didn't look like the type of girl to use those words, at all. Smiling and friendly. At least you intimidate me, Muichiro added. How, because I braid everyone's hair? She giggled. I don't know, it's... The boy got cut off by a flame pillar. Oh, YN, you finally talked to Muichiro. You must be happy. The sad boy arched an eyebrow at Kojiro's sentence. Yeah, she always keeps talking about how she wants to talk to you, but you're intimidating her more than Sonami does, he said, laughing before walking away. Meanwhile, YN remained silent. She was braiding Muichiro's hair as fast as she could now, and she was happy he couldn't see her face. What a humiliation. You could have talked to me, you know. I wanted to talk to you as well, he said, trying to calm her down. I'm glad there's someone around my age now. He continued, feeling her getting slower. Would you like to hang out sometime? So we won't have to stay with these grandpas and grandmas all the time, he offered, giggling. I promise I won't be grumpy this time, he said, smiling even though she couldn't see him. Sure, she said, giggling at his last sentence. However, though they couldn't see Muichiro smiling, the other pillars could, and they were going to tease him about them so much.